This November, 24 teams of the best adventure racers in the world will take part in the Outdoor Quest, a 4-day challenge that demands individual excellence and selfless teamwork. This year, the unofficial World Championship of Adventure Racing will arrive in the beautiful city of Lijiang in Yunnan Province, southwest China. Situated in one of the most spectacular regions on Earth, Lijiang is a World Heritage Site, and the athletes will enjoy a unique sporting and cultural experience during their stay.
So, what does the Outdoor Quest entail? Each team has 4 athletes from both sexes, and the 4 days of racing are split into stages. The athletes are tested in 7 disciplines in all. There's mountain biking, which includes some challenging climbs and exhilarating descents, both on and off-road.
There's trail running through some of the most rugged terrain in the world, with the athletes able to enjoy the physical challenge in spectacular natural surroundings.
Put those 2 disciplines together and you have Team Biathlon, a technically demanding event in which the 4 athletes share 2 bikes. The team need to plan their race carefully to ensure that all members finish the course together.
Perhaps the most technically demanding event, however, is inline skating. Some, especially the cross-country skiers, are naturals. But for others, it's a new skill that has to be mastered.
And of course, there is the water element. Some of the world's best paddlers will be in Lijiang, enjoying a unique opportunity to navigate the Yangtze River in double kayaks. Though there isn't always time to enjoy the view from above the water.
Oh, 真是很不幸。
One unique aspect of the challenge is paddling in native boats, which is often one of the toughest sections of the race.
Finally, there's the adventure section, which can encompass anything that really gets the adrenaline flowing. The 7 sports of the Outdoor Quest will challenge the participants' fitness, teamwork and mental strength, as well as their courage.
In the heart of California's Silicon Valley, San Jose is at the cutting edge of modern technology. But for at least 4 local residents, the .com world is a million miles away, as their livelihood depends on a more ancient invention, the wheel.
Pedicabs themselves weigh about 180 pounds, and these are really the lightest and probably most technologically advanced pedicabs in the world. They've got 21 gears, they've got grip shifts. One of the benefits of this is it has a disc brake, just like a car would have. So we got this, plus my skin bag weighs about 180 pounds, and we can take up to about 400 pounds in the back, and that's 2 to 3 people, depending on what size they are. But really the heaviest that we've had in the back has been about 200-300-pound women. It's like pedaling uphill with like a sack of bricks on you.
Dorsey Moore and Mike Prindeville are making their first foray into international adventure racing. But they, along with the other 2 members of San Jose Pedicab, aren't short of confidence as they keep the wheels turning before their adventure in Lijiang.
I think we've set some aggressive goals, and you got to set goals at several levels, because with adventure racing, you really never know what to expect. I think If you take a look at the different races we've done, you don't know when you start what's going to happen. So our first goal would just be to be competitive. It's easy to go into a race like this on day one and be very excited, but you got to look at teams on day 3 and day 4. Are they going to be excited? We may be in 20th place on day 3, but if we have that excitement, I think we can pick up a lot of teams. I think conservatively we're looking at maybe top 10, but we really won't know until we get there and we see the competition.
The team will be one of the least experienced at the race, but they have one great advantage. When you have a backdrop like this against which to train, it's not too difficult to find motivation for even the toughest workout.
California is like an adventure athlete's dream. You've got everything here. You've got the ocean, you've got redwood mountains, you've got high desert, you've got altitude, you've got sea level. You've got really everything you can do. There's great rock climbing, mountain biking, trail running, everything.
While some might be just a little jealous at the scenery the Californian team can train in, the pedicab riders themselves are keen to board their flight to Lijiang for what they are viewing as the trip of a lifetime.
I'm really looking forward to the cultural experience. I've never been to China. This is just an amazing opportunity for someone from the United States to compete in China, to meet a lot of the other athletes. I'd really like to know about everyone else's background, just to bond with some of these people. It's really an amazing event to bring together all these teams from all these different areas, and we're really excited.
But until they pack their bags for Lijiang, Team San Jose Pedicab have plenty of hard work ahead of them if they're to achieve their goals. Few places on Earth can match the splendor of Yunnan province in China. In the southwest corner of this vast country, the region has some of the most spectacular scenery imaginable. From the beautiful Jade Dragon Snow Mountain, down to the magnificent Yangtze River, and into vast canyons and valleys, the area offers almost every type of geographical feature. In the northwest of the province lies Lijiang, a United Nations World Heritage Site. The ancient city provides a unique glimpse into Yunnan's past. But at the start of the new millennium, the city and the incredible landscape around it has become the center of attention for a new type of visitor.
After months of preparation by athletes and organisers, the guests were about to receive their first taste of the warmth and enthusiasm of the local people.
For first-timers and race veterans alike, the welcome was a colourful reminder that the outdoor quest is about cultural experience as well as athletic excellence.
It's really beautiful. Wow. Oh, it's so overwhelmed.
And at 8 o'clock sharp, the outdoor quest is underway. With the
Day one consists of a course of 149 kilometers, starting with a run and adventure test around Lijiang's old city, followed by 9.7 kilometers of mountain biking to Lasha Lake. Then it's across the lake in native boats, with bikes on board, and a cycle up and over the hills before the athletes can enjoy a fast descent to the Yangtze River. At Shugu Harbour, there's a 2-kilometer adventure skills section, before they take to the water for a 45-kilometer kayak downstream. After 3 hours on the water, there's a short run to the famous Tiger Leaping Gorge. Then it's back on the bikes for a 31-kilometer ride to the final transition. The final leg is a grueling 10.5-kilometer hill run to the finish at the Zheyun Temple.
Across the wide expanse of Lasha Lake, 46 small canoes head slowly to the far bank. After 50 minutes of paddling, the first teams finally get to shore. But staying dry and warm wasn't the only challenge posed by the Yangtze. As the chasing teams took to the mighty river, they were in for more than 3 hours of tough paddling.
With the race so close, the time spent in transition areas was becoming more crucial. It was
the toughest I have ever seen, especially the kayaks. It was brutal. We had to give everything we had, and also climbing this mountain. If I would not have these 3 guys, I would still be down there.
First Asian team, mile 7.
Today we performed really well, although our female athlete did have some problems. But the support we had was wonderful.
As the sun went down, the moonlight saw plenty more teams coming in. Those torches were coming in handy.
It's early morning at the beautiful Tuanshan Reservoir on the outskirts of Lijiang, and as the mists begin to dissipate in the warm air, race organisers and local Naxi dancers and musicians are already hard at work preparing for the start of Day 2 of the Mile 7 Outdoor Quest 2000. With the air already warming a clear blue sky, it also looked as if heat could be a factor.
It's a lot harder than I thought it would be.
First would come a tough 16-kilometer team biathlon on and off-road to stir those aching limbs into action. Next would come a 5-kilometer kayaking section of the Tuanshan Reservoir that would include 2 portages. The third leg would be the most technically demanding, a hilly inline skating loop on the Lining Highway. Then it's back on the water for 4 kilometers of lake paddling in native boats. The fifth section is a testing 15.9-kilometer mountain bike ride with some significant climbs and descents. Then comes a beautiful adventure skills section, including canyoneering and rappelling, before the teams take to the road for an 11-kilometer run back into the finish in Lijiang's old town.
Down to 9 a.m, the teams lined up. As the teams approached the turnoff from the new Lining Highway to the old road, there was a surprise leader in Margan Arata of Team San Jose Pedicab. But the 36-year-old American was out in front only because her team had decided to allow her to ride the entire course to protect her sore knee.
As the rest of the chasing pack, led by Team EADS Bow number 2, started to make their way down the cliff descent, there was just a moment to enjoy some breathtaking views over the area around the Tuanshan Reservoir.
If the sight of Lijiang wasn't enough to spur the athletes on, then the crowds lining the streets did just that. It's 5 a.m. at Chung Lake, 130 kilometers to the southeast of Lijiang, and in the dark chill of the autumn morning, thousands of spectators are already gathering for the start of day 3 of the outdoor quest. The steep banks have given the locals a grandstand view of what will be the beginning of one of the toughest days in the history of the race. The day begins with a 14-kilometer kayaking leg on the sometimes choppy waters of the lake. Then comes 11 kilometers of trail running, both on and off roads, to the bustling village of Liangguan. The third leg, 31 kilometers of mountain biking, runs through flat agricultural areas before a fast descent to Jinan Bridge. Then the teams will enjoy a 12-kilometer adventure skills section involving a zip line across the Jinsha River. Then things get really tough with 60 kilometers of mountain biking, including a 1,500-meter climb within 28 kilometers. The final leg is a further test of aching thigh muscles. A 12.5-kilometer skate on a wide, flat road finishing at the Hong Kong Monument on the outskirts of Lijiang.
First away were race leaders Team Nokia Adventure. The Finns were looking to extend a lead that they'd built up over 2 amazing days of racing.
As the leaders headed out on the run away from the lake, back at the transition area, a very personal drama was being played out. 36-year-old Margan Arata of Team San Jose Pedicab had decided that her sore knee would not withstand the demands of the day ahead. Part of the challenge of the Mild 7 outdoor quest is knowing your inner self, and for Margan, it was the right choice. For her, the race was over.
Liangguan village was bursting at the seams. The locals were living every minute of this outdoor quest.
Throughout the 3 days, the competitors had been amazed by the numbers that had turned out to watch them, and inspired by the enthusiasm of the local crowds. The course varies from road to goat track and rises 500 meters from the Jinan Bridge. It's tough, but with the enthusiastic support of the locals, the Finns begin to extend their lead. On the other side of Jinan Bridge, 2 zip lines are set up to take the teams across the river. Although whatever happens, the racers are going to get pretty wet.
Team San Jose Pedicab's injured female athlete, Margan Arata, could only watch from the transition, but her colleagues continued the climb. 2 of them, Mike Prinville and Dorsey Moore, originate from California, where their vocation has given them good preparation for this.
We're ready for the hills. Bring them on. Pedicabbing is almost like riding uphill, and we do shifts from anywhere from 8 to 14 hours at a time, so your legs really start to turn into steel girders.
But what about the mental training?
The key for me is just to focus in on the positive, so focus on what doesn't hurt and what I'm doing right rather than the negative, what hurts, and just kind of keep the energy positive and kind of keep it flowing.
I think it's always easy to be over-aggressive on a hill climb. You see the hill, you size it up, you think, I can do this. You get about halfway up and you start to rethink those expectations. For me, it's all about patience, about working all the way through the hill, cresting the top of the hill, keeping a good pace going, good RPM on the cycles, staying in the saddle. I think it's important get out of the saddle for short spurts, but it's not something you could sustain. So good balance of staying in the saddle and being patient.
Actually, I'm a better uphill biker than I am downhill. I'm kind of a pansy on the way down. I tend to ride my brakes, but I like the uphills, but I can get through the downhills.
The roads for the last discipline of day 3 were ideal for inline skating. Team Nokia Adventure natural cross-country skiers would take full advantage.
Team K2 maintained their steady progress. The Finns were more than competent on skates, but after such a day, their legs looked tired.
5 teams are no longer in the official standings, but some, like San Jose Pedicab, are still trying themselves against the course. The beautiful Jade Dragon Snow Mountain dominates the landscape around Lijiang. At 5,500 meters above sea level, its peak has never been climbed. On the 4th day of the outdoor quest, its upper slopes and rarefied air would provide a fitting final challenge to the elite athletes gathering at the foot of the mountain for the start at the beautiful whitewater area.
Snow Dragon's looking primed. I think if we get some sun, we'll stay warm.
But Beaver Creek would need an extraordinary performance. Team Nokia Adventure were already into the 7-kilometer run that would take them on a steep ascent to a large meadow, where they'd turn around and head back down towards the start area. A short run up the riverbed would end with an adventure skills section as the teams scramble up a cargo net onto a bridge, where their mountain bikes will be waiting for the 11 kilometers of team biathlon on paved roads up to the lower cable car station of Jade Dragon Snow Mountain. From there, they'd have a steep 2-kilometer climb up the mountain before retracing their steps and running back along the biathlon route for a chilly final wade through the mountain waters to the start and finish line.
57 minutes and 33 seconds after Nokia Adventure had raced off in search of their 2nd consecutive title, the Finns arrived back at the Whitewater Bridge. The Finns wouldn't need any medical assistance, but dehydration is an ever-present threat at altitude, and it was essential to take as much fluid as possible on the ascent.
Time deficit, please.
The oxygen pillows were proving to be vital as Nokia Adventure made one final push for the summit.
The team that had worked so well as a unit emerged from the chilly waters and came over the line together. Most of the aches would be gone in a few days. The memories would last longer.
The best thing about this race for me was just the people coming out to the course and just, I mean, they were there from like sun up to sundown, just cheering us on all day long, just chanting, you know, Gaio, Gaio, Gaio. It was almost too much, but it was really, really touching. It really almost brought tears to my eyes. Just when you're really tired and you're pulling into town and, you know, you got everybody cheering for you. It was really, really special. I'd love to.
But it wasn't just the scenery that had made Lijiang special. The people, the incredible determination of the athletes, and the challenge itself all make up the elements that contribute to the unique nature of the outdoor quest.